What's going on, guys? Edrone here, and today we're going to be talking about some parts if you're trying to get into FPV racing or freestyle that you might want to have extra of. Stay tuned. Now, for those of you that are wanting to get into FPV freestyle or FPV racing, or if you've already been in the hobby for a little bit of time, this video is going to be for you. So, I started this journey, and there was a lot of things that I did not know that I know now that I'd like to share with you guys. So, when you build a freestyle quad, or if you buy one that's already done up, either way, I got some parts that I want to show you that I think everybody should have extra of to save you a little bit of frustration along this FPV journey, which can be a long road. So, here you can see we got props, you got flight controller. This is all stuff that's typical parts that you probably already have, or if you don't have, you should. Extra props is a must. You must have extra props. You're going to break props in this journey. Obviously, you know, you got your transmitter, whatever kind you're going to use. You've got your quad. You've got your camera. This is all the fun stuff. This is all the stuff that everybody talks about. You know, you got your FPV goggles there, Fat Sharks. This is all the stuff that everybody talks about, that everybody knows about. Well, what I want to do today is I want to wipe slate clean. We're going to take all of this stuff away, and we're just going to focus on the quad itself. Now, what do I mean by focus on the quad itself? So, there's a lot of parts that go into a FPV racing or freestyle quad that aren't really talked about that much, and it isn't really that exciting of a topic. You see here, I've got a drone that's been crashed and it needs to be built back up. And, you know, just a scenario like this, you're going to run into a couple of things. You're probably, one, you're not going to have the parts that you need to fix it if you don't have the parts I'm getting ready to show you. Or you may have the parts, but you may have run out of them, or you're going to have to wait for them to come in the mail, which sucks. So if you don't have the parts that I'm talking about, and then you go to fix your drone, you may run into the fact that you have to now wait for the parts to come in the mail. So what I would suggest doing is getting these parts I'm about to show you before you purchase the quad, or during, or as you're purchasing parts to build the quad. These parts you're going to want to get and have along with your builds, or your bind and fly, or your plug and play. Because let's face it, whether you build it yourself or you buy it ready to fly, you're going to crash. Both types of drones crash. Doesn't matter if they're built or they come built, you're going to crash and you're going to break stuff. So these essential parts, I think, are going to make it a lot easier in your FPV journey when you need to make a repair. So what are we talking about here? I've got a package that just came in the mail from Race Day Quads. Now, I didn't pay any extra for the shipping. It was just a standard flat rate shipping. And actually, if you spend over a certain amount, if you spend over $50, they actually give you free shipping in the U.S., and it's 3-day shipping. I had this package delivered to my house in 3 days, which is awesome. I love Race Day Quads. Check them out if you haven't already. racedayquads.com. So, let's go ahead and open up this package so I can tell you exactly what I'm talking about. You probably at this point are thinking, what's going on? I mean, what don't I already have for my quad that I have already? You know, I've got props, I've got my camera, I've got my micro SD cards, I've got, you know, my antennas. I mean, what else do I need? Okay, this is what I'm going to show you right here. So, these parts are far from interesting. I'm going to give you a pre-warning. These parts are not interesting whatsoever. However, they're very practical. So, there's my invoice there. So, while these parts are not particularly interesting, they're very practical, and I feel like everybody who is getting into FPV drone racing or freestyle whether you're new or not, you should have these parts on you. So, take a look at the first item right here. This is definitely something you want in your bag, in your kit, on your persons. This is your hardware set. This has multiple length screws, different length screws, metric, and it has your lock nuts. This is an excellent kit for $9.99. Links for everything I'm showing will be down in the video description. Now, you cannot go wrong with this kit from Race Day Quads. $9.99, although we do have a crack right there. You see that? So it's a good thing they wrapped this up in the plastic, but my case is cracked, so that's unfortunate. But that's okay, because the hardware is what I really care about. I don't care too much about the case. But all jokes aside on that, this is $9.99 for this packet right here. And you get plenty of extra spare hardware in multiple sizes. And you're going to need that, because depending on the build or the drone that you have, you don't know what size you might need to go ahead and fix or make a repair or do any kind of modification. So that's an excellent little starter kit there. $9.99 hardware pack. Battery straps. Now, a lot of times, you know, we'll get battery straps with our lipos when we buy them, and we don't really think too much of them. But when you run out of them or you break what you have, then that's all you think about. Oh crap, I'm all out of battery straps. So always have extra battery straps. It can never hurt to have extra battery straps. And try to get some decent ones with metal buckles. This was like 99 cents. It's got that nice grip on there. It's going to hold that battery with the metal buckle. This is the Race Day Quads 99-cent battery strap. So, extra battery straps, check. Hardware, check. I actually went ahead and got 2 of these bad boys. They actually send you one with your order for free, and then I paid 99 cents for an additional strap. That way I have extra. Okay, what's the next items that you might, some practical items that you might want to have in your kit or in your bag? Oh, these right here. These are the prop nuts, lock nut. These go very quickly. So if you've crashed or you've broken props, you know that most of the time when you break a prop, more than likely you're going to lose a prop nut. And after a while, you're going to find yourself completely out of prop nuts if you don't have some on hand. So order you some extra prop nuts. They have them in a wide variety of colors. And make sure they're lightweight. You don't want to get those really heavy ones. It's extra weight that you really don't need on your build. And these aluminum ones do really great, especially on most modern day motors. Most modern day motors are running hollow steel shafts, and these aluminum nuts are perfect for tightening down your propellers. So we got a couple packs of these in here, so I had extra. I want to make sure I had plenty of these extra prop nuts on hand, because like I said, you will go through them rather quickly. So let's see here. Yeah, they actually sent us some different color ones. So we got some silver and we got some black. So we got 3 packs of those. They're in packs of 4. So we have 3 sets of the prop nuts. That's going to make you feel a lot better knowing that you have the hardware you need in case you have a prop nut fall off. The last thing you want is not be able to fly because you don't have any prop nuts. Okay, next practical item is going to be these guys right here. And you don't necessarily have to have these, but if you are mounting your receiver antennas out the back of your quad or somewhere where they may be susceptible to getting hit in a crash or bent, these antenna straws are very cheap. They come with these little connectors for the ends, and I chose the clear because I like to be able to see how far my wire is in there. But these are very cheap and they're nice to have, and when you go crashing, sometimes they will bend and they will break. So it's nice to have extra of your receiver straws here. Very inexpensive and a good deal. That's going to be just about it for this video, guys. If you have any suggestions on simple simple pieces or parts or components that aren't exactly terribly exciting, but are great to have extras of, so you don't get left stranded not being able to fly. Put it down in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that. So once again, prop nuts, definitely want to have extra prop nuts. Antenna straws, if you use antenna straws or antenna tubes. Battery straps, and your hardware. These are some excellent extra parts that you definitely should have if you're going to get into FPV, drone racing, or freestyle. Obviously, props, that's more of an obvious thing. But yes, you want to have extra props. I was specifically talking about things that most people might not think about when you get in this hobby. Like, for example, I have always just used the prop nuts that came with my motors, and I've had a couple extras here and there from like spare motors and stuff like that. But I've really gotten to a point now where I was getting so low on prop nuts that if I were to lose one, I would not be able to fly my quad. So that's why I went ahead and got 3 extra sets of prop nuts. Hardware, you can never have enough hardware in this hobby, especially when it comes to the metric size and the different sizes. You can also use these to make your standoffs, custom standoffs, and you can use those little rubber soft mounts to space out your boards and stuff like that. But yeah, props, that's a very obvious one. Extra components, that's a no-brainer. You want to have extra motor, extra ESCs, extra flight controllers, extra antennas. All that stuff's pretty obvious, but if you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, you should have extra components, because you never know when you may break something, and if you don't have an extra part to replace it out in the field, you're going to be grounded that day. You're not going to be able to continue to keep flying, and that's super frustrating when you have one component that goes up in your build or your drone that you bought, and you don't have anything to replace it, and you're pretty much done flying. So thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to be diving into this right here live. I'm going to be doing a video on the repair on this. We've got to repair the ESC here that got prop struck. Obviously, we got to replace the prop. The flight control board was damaged in the crash, so we're going to be changing that out with the Bardwell F4 all-in-one V2. So we're going to solder all that up. I'm going to try to do all this live. It's probably going to be a couple of different videos, but we're going to do it live. That way you guys can see it. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the live chat, and we'll try to make sure that we get to it. And there's a couple little revamps I'm going to do to this Budget Basher race drone as well. Some modifications that I think are going to make it a much better Budget Basher race drone. Till next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching. edrone out.